We have a very serious problem on TikTok and it needs to be addressed, as literal minors are being used and exploited to promote adult content sites, with the Bop House being absolutely no exception here. But unfortunately, it does get much darker. As digging into this, I uncovered something that seemingly no one is talking about, with the victim in this case, Piper Rockelle, being exploited by her parents in what I would describe as creating softcore content of a 17-year-old posted across all of her pages. Not to mention, said parents have just settled a lawsuit for treating children in ways which I think even the Frankie family would bow their head in acceptance. This situation is criminally wrong, weird, and just disgusting. So hello everyone, welcome back. I am Jake Baz, and today we're talking about something that I genuinely can't understand. As a group of OF creators are using a 17-year-old as promotion for their products that they're selling, and they see no problem in it. The Bop House, which was created by two creators in Sophie and Aisha Sophie, came out as an OF marketing technique with these massive online platforms to promote OF creator pages by creating viral TikTok situations. But little did we know how disgusting and low all of this would get. There's been so much fallout from all of this, but the worst thing for me is I think that the child's parents in Piper saw this as a genius marketing technique, as despite her age, it looks like she's got an OF light. And with the Bop House already being exposed for aiming their content at predators and children, it's not a good look at all, is it? If you do want more vids like this, please do hit the like button and subscribe if you're not. It lets me know what to post, it helps out a lot, and I would love to see you back for future content. So before we cover some of the dirtiest stuff, how did the Bop House actually come together? It's probably a good question to ask, as it really doesn't seem that big. But the reason that it's so big and viral across all of TikTok is because the creators in this instance have multiple million followers, and you only need to see the likes of that with Sophie and Camilla Araujo, and all of the people in the Bop House are OF creators. The Bop House started late last year, and it was intentionally made so that it could be a promotion technique for all of these OF creators who are clearly drowning in their own bags anyway, with Sophie and the likes who created the Bop House saying that she made 40 million last year. Just a little bit, you know, not too much. With the aim of this house to have these group of creators come in, it's going to make everyone's bag bigger, everyone's going to have a better time, including the mini Bop House. I'm not sure that's the best idea of inclusivity, but we'll go on. And it looks like to me that the premise of the Bop House was to create a load of fake drama which can then also bump everyone's social media pages, because we've seen this in multiple instances, especially across the pond in the UK, where you have the likes of Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips who are talking to each other and creating fake dramas and scenarios to then sell their OF pages. It's a very good tactic that does work on social media because people grab onto it and they look at it and they're like, what are you doing? And well, obviously in this instance, they've gone way too far. In my opinion, they've taken what they've seen from Jack Doherty doing well, and I imagine that Sophie is getting money from these OF creators to be in this house and to literally just get promoted by her. And one weird thing that you will realise if you look in the comments of these Bop House videos, it's very evident that a lot of the people that they are actually attracting to these TikToks are younger children, as well as reaching for an audience which, in my opinion, is quite literally predatory. As you can see, for example, they're faking a drama of people breaking into the house when they're all doing a TikTok dance. I'm not really sure if my house got caved in by someone, I'd be at the front in the living room doing a little TikTok dance while they're back stealing all my stuff. But as you've seen, they've got these really childish dramas that go on, and then also in a lot of the stuff that they do, it really does seem aimed at children with the editing, with the type of styles that they do, and the kind of things that they go through on TikTok to get views. They all wear bright and colourful stuff, which obviously is not really a bad thing, and for example, in this here, they're doing a pool noodle game. Obviously, this is a bit of a childish nature to it. They're around a pool with loads of colourful little things and they're throwing it at each other, and it's meant to be really silly. Something definitely to garner TikTok views easily, but also you have a knock-on effect of, by doing all these childish stunts and stuff, you're appealing to a younger audience, as well as, considering the OF that they all have, appealing to someone who is predatory in nature, as we will get onto. Another example here, talking about the March in Place challenge. There's nothing really wrong with these at all in what they are doing and how they are expressing themselves, but they are doing a lot of like TikToks and trends that you would see a lot of younger people do on the social media platform, and that is entirely intentional in my opinion, because there has been bot members that have come out after leaving and saying that they are attempting to make themselves look more childish, something that some people would describe as jailbait, something very well known in the corn industry, where you will have people with the barely 18 and things like that, where they try to appear very childish so that people that are much older get really interested in it. It's some weird form of kink. But in my opinion, if you're watching that stuff, you're a bit of a predator. Which, when you collect all the fake dramas that they do and go through constantly, it really does add to the idea that it is aiming at children to get attention of children, which then also has a really weird knock-on effect of inviting these sort of predators around. It's very weird, but none of it is illegal. But then there has been this massive drama which has encapsulated it in the recent days, because they invited a certain child star around, which is also very famous on TikTok and YouTube, called Piper Rockelle. Piper Rockelle is a 17-year-old TikTok star who has also been seen as a model as well as an actress, who has been in multiple different things. I'm sure you've never heard of her, but she is very big for younger generations and audiences. So what happened with the Bop House is that they started baiting out that they're going to invite her and have her there as one of the extras, which, remember, everyone in the Bop House does OF. So that is really weird, isn't it? This did initially start with this TikTok where they were saying, should we add Piper to the Bop House, with a big question mark, because obviously the intention of them doing that is it's got to get quite a bit of backlash, because obviously you shouldn't invite a 17-year-old to be invited and live with you in this house which is full of OF creators. It's a safeguarding problem. But as we'll get onto, the reason that Piper did end up actually going was much deeper than what I thought. This situation was also seemingly funny to the Bop House members, as you can see in this TikTok where they're saying that they're getting arrested for doing this. Obviously just making sure they get their backs against the wall so people can look at their prizes that you can see on OF for about $10. But that in itself is so weird, isn't it? Why are you saying that you're going to get arrested for having a child come into this house? What are you trying to do with that child? Which then as well, I think it gets a bit weirder when you see James Charles there. It's just odd, isn't it? Not that that man has had multiple scandals around children in the past anyway. And eventually, after all of this bait, which really riled people up, she actually did come up, end up visiting, which was obviously going to be the plan anyway. Pretending that she is in the Bop House, this Piper Rockelle, and doing multiple TikToks around it. Finally welcoming Piper to the Bop House, which is a terrible word to say. And this has already had a lot of backlash because of the way that she is dressed. She's dressed very skimpily. She's a 17-year-old, remember. There's nothing wrong with what people can wear, but at the same time, you're wearing this sort of exposed clothing whilst you're in an OF's house, doing all of these sexualized dancing, which is exactly what these Bop House members are doing anyway on the daily, because it will get them more revenue on OF. So it kind of is intentionally playing into that bait, and that's why it's so disgusting. Also, just to mention again, going back to the idea that they are trying to bait into these predators, well, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm looking here, I think Piper looks the oldest here and she's 17, and the other two are like 20 and 21. I can imagine that this Piper did have her parents around, but that doesn't really make anything better, because she's around this TikTok Bop House, which is literally around all of these OF creators, and it's supposed to be normal, and they're acting like it is. OF is definitely something that I think is getting entrenched way too deep into our society as like an accepted norm, and also something that people should do, because literally off the backlash of this, there is so many people saying that the second that Piper's going to turn 18, she's going to start an OF, which is exactly, if anyone remembers, what Bad Baby did. And she made $1 million in one day from that, and the reason that she did is because of all of these predators that were waiting for that to happen, and it did happen. And when you see the stuff I'm going to show you soon, which really does get much darker, it all seems to make sense as to why this has happened. With the backlash happening, they were posting things like this, saying how many times people are going to cry about the Bop House, 6 or 7, and then doing the crying stuff like everyone just needs to shut up and grow up. Which which is a great way to totally skirt around the entire conversation around this, as well as them saying, oh, well, the whole internet's going crazy because of the TikToks, but the TikToks we made are normal. And yeah, this is something you would normally see from like people around this age on TikTok. But I think the difference is they're doing it with their friends. They're not doing it with OF creators who have monetary gain from all of this drama coming out. The dances are sexual in nature. The intentional point of what they're doing that for is to promote their OF. So now that there's a girl there that is younger, does that change? Of course it doesn't. And as I said, as I was digging, I found that Piper might have some form of OF going on there as well, which we'll go through, but it just really is grim and makes me feel horrible. This end only gets weirder with the relationship between Piper and the main person of the Bop House, Sophie, with her saying, stop copying. It's clear that she's getting some form of mentor from Sophie in any way on TikTok, and I feel like that is intentional and it's done because it gets her views. Piper is also seen multiple times talking about how like Sophie is like literally her big sis, which is also a very weird way to put that you are being looked after by an OF model and you see her as a sister despite she's 20 and you're 17. And it's just all a really weird and wrong situation. I don't think in any way you should have someone who is of that age going into a house like that and promoting stuff together. And realistically, the Bop House have done that intentionally because they think that they will get views from it and it will help them. And well, it did because it went so viral, and it's probably ended up being really beneficial for them, especially when you talk about the predator aspect of the content that they were doing previously. And the first hurdle and cracks that we did see is that someone before this left the Bop House, which we will get onto after this stuff about Piper, but it really didn't go well, and Piper ended up getting a little bit irate from it, despite her saying, oh well, you know, I've got no problems with any of this. But when you force a minor into a situation like this and it backfires, and then you got thousands of people just clowning on you all day every day, and you're only a 17-year-old, obviously that's going to affect you.
There's days, you know, obviously I'm in the public eye and I get hate and stuff like that, and I know I'm prepared for it, but there's some stuff that I can't handle. You can say whatever you want to me, like I don't care, but it's like when it comes to another person that I love, it like hurts me like really terribly, like more than it should.
Like clearly she's distressed and upset, and she can say that all she wants, like, these don't affect me, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But that is not what happens, and that is not the case in any way from anyone. To an extent, anything can hit you. I feel like I'm Teflon, but it can still slap me in the face sometimes. But I do feel for her in a sense, because she's a 17-year-old that has been pushed into this situation and she doesn't really know how to handle it. And this is entirely done by her parents, with a little bit of what you could even presume to be somewhat grooming, the way that Sophie is bringing this person into the Bop House and saying that, oh well, everyone's caring about you, everyone's talking about you now. Well, yeah, but all for all the wrong reasons.
Bullied or like people making you feel bad for something, like just literally take the high road. In 5 years, none of this is going to matter. That's what I keep saying. I'm literally so excited to be an adult, to be 18, because guess what? What are people going to comment? What are people going to make videos about? Nobody's going to care once I'm 18.
Obviously, she doesn't understand the nature of what she has just done. Well, yeah, no one's going to care when she's 18 in 6 months' time, but in 6 months' time, she's going to be 18. She's currently a minor. And hanging around with OF creators all day, every day, whilst doing these TikToks, that doesn't scream what you should be doing as a minor. And it's a pure safeguarding problem from not only your parents, but also everyone else in the room that is an adult. You can also see from Piper how clearly expressively excited she is to turn 18 and finally be an adult, even though in the sense of America, 21's really when you become an adult, innit? But maybe that also explains why she potentially went into it further, because that's what she felt like was right at the time. Being goaded into it by her parents, I imagine it's just wrong.
I have grown up with y'all. I'm 17 years old. I started this when I was 7 years old, and I've always gotten hate and always been told that I wasn't acting my age and always been told that I'm doing wrong things. So, you know, at a certain point, you just kind of like stop listening.
But you really should be listening to the majority decision of people on the internet of how wrong what it actually is, and really you should check yourself and look after yourself. And Piper, if you're watching this, which I imagine you're definitely not with how much fucking money you have. But please just look after yourself and actually think about what you're doing, because this really gets so much darker. As I really didn't understand the true extent as to why exactly Piper has gone onto this house, I knew that it was a promotion from the OF, but I couldn't imagine why the parents would let her do that in the first place, because of the obvious ramifications of being around all of these people. And well, the people in the Bop House, as I've said, they're trying to be jailbait, and it does get so much more horrible when you see what Piper is doing online that nobody is talking about, because it's out there, it's in the air, it's very obvious to see if you do like 2 seconds of research, and I can't understand why no one is even covering this because of how disgusting it truly is, and really the ramifications of what it has on why she ended up going there has been. Because if you go on Piper's Instagram and you look at the all my links that she has, you can see everything that she's vlogging, all her Instagrams and stuff like that, including fanfic TV, and also to get healthy with her. It's essentially just one massive brand placement, her entire links page. But when you get to the bottom, you see this brand army for more Piper, and once you click it, it genuinely gets crazy. And honestly, after looking at this, I can't believe that this is literally legal, and I'm not sure it is. When you open it, you're met with this Piper Rockelle with a photo of her in a bikini with, wow, like 80,000 likes, 30,000 comments, and 16,000 photos of her. 16,000 photos. You heard that right. There is 16,000 photos of her on this site, this brand army site. With then also saying, I'm so excited to share more of me with you with a love heart, a kiss, and an unlock, then saying parent managed. And this is the craziest thing for me because it is parent managed. And I look at this and I think that it's a sort of OF light, the kind of like Fansly where people post like photos of them in bikinis with like their with their parts out, but also not in a necessarily entirely sexual interaction encounter, but she's 17. Then you are led to this part here, which used to be free, so you used to be able to get a free subscription for it, but you can't anymore, with tiers, and every tier has a photo of her in some very like skimpy outfit. I don't know what they are. I think it's trying to bait into the incel sort of arc, to be honest, looking at them. With the first one saying, welcome to Piper Pro Plus, you now have access to unlock any of my posts, upgrade at any time for more content, bigger discounts, and free monthly bonus content. And what does this content entail? Literally her half naked. You can also pay for the higher tiers such as Premium Plus, where you get a mini set at the first of every month. You'll receive discounts on all paid packages, including messaging, unlocking sets, custom orders, and live streams. And if you're not getting at what that set entails, it entails a set of photos of her in certain positions, literally as like a model for a minor. And do you see where we're starting to get the links here? Because you see the Bop House are promoting her. People then go onto her Instagram, they'll click on the links, and then you'll see this extra for branded content. And this branded content is literally her half naked, like in bikini sets, in Valentine's Day sets, as we'll show. It's just, it blows my mind, it baffles my mind. Because in my opinion, I would see these as illicit photos of children that are being sent for money by the parents of the child. And you can see where and why now that Piper would move into that area. Obviously also including a free set of your choice to unlock on your birthday for $100 a month, which wow, that's so good. Including free DMs, access to live streams, priority customs, as well as loads of discounts. So you can pay for her to actually go and get an outfit to wear in a manner that I would presume is sexualized. Because let's be honest, this is no different to like the likes of a Fansly where it says, I'm so excited to share more with you. Like, obviously this is sexually entailed with the love art, the kiss, the unlock. It's literally the exact same thing as what all of them creators do as well. And with 16,000 photos, you've got a plethora to choose from of a literal minor. It's so disgusting, wrong, and weird, and I can't wrap my head around it. But obviously, somehow it gets even worse. There was a free set at the time, and now there isn't. And if you look at the free set, it really does expose further more around this.
Piper Rockelle's mother needs to be in prison. I hate that I'm like even bringing attention to this. I feel gross, but I haven't seen people talking about this. So like I was saying in my last video, how I found this page in the bottom of like her bio. Again, it says it's parent managed, and there's different tiers to this page. Like one is like more expensive than the other, but there's a free one.
But once again, go back to this and remember that this is managed by a parent. And then you'll realize how weird this all is.
And all you do is you put in your email and then you have an account. And then this is just the free tier, mind you, okay? Baby Blues mini set, 8 images, private TikTok. This is like her and her friend in like a Playboy bunny themed room. But don't worry, just in case you wanted another version of this set for $250 in the Japanese style baby blue striped bikinis with matching knee-high private TikTok available. What?
Sum it up perfectly. What? Like, literally, what? Like, this is so sexually connotated, no one can even pretend that it isn't. Playing into the childish nature, the knee-highs, this sort of thing, every light blue set that you have to pay $50 to unlock to get a set of literal... it's CP in it. It's just CP. Yeah, these are images that are quite similar, I would imagine, to things that you would see on certain sites which are promoting literal products. And she did used to be a model, but that doesn't excuse what she's doing here. Her parents are literally doing this for money. By her parents literally selling lewd images of her in, for example, like certain outfits and also bikinis. Like, it is so obvious to me, isn't it, that it is meant for these sort of predators. That's the main intention of it. That's all they really want from it, and it's disgusting.
We have a Valentine's Day set for $150 of 90 images and 4 private looks. And keep in mind, like I said, on this page and her links, there are tiers, and there are different prices that you can pay for different things. That was the free thing. That was free. What the fuck?
Exactly. Just what did he what? And if you're wondering why the parents are fine with this, there is a very substantive reason as to why, as we will cover. This whole thing is so disgusting. There is no other way to paint around it other than what I can see here is something that is on the borderline of legality, if not illegal, and it's grim. Because you're looking at $100, $250. Like, there is no way that someone at the age of 16 or 17, for example, is going to want to or be able to pay for that sort of money for these sort of things. No, because what she's doing here is she's selling lewd content of herself managed by her parents, obviously managed by her parents. Well, why would you message her then? To people who can afford it, which are well over the legal age of this stuff. So why are you buying photos of bikinis for $200? There's only one reason why someone would do that, isn't there? It's massively predatory, and you can only wonder and also feel very, very sorry for Piper that she has been exposed to this as some form of normality. But also, why is this just so open? Why is everything out there? Because in my opinion, I see this as illegal. And then when you deep it further, of course, with the share more review with the kiss, and also the bikini photo, it's very obvious as to why this is being done and why the entire Bop House is a thing with this Piper. It's because it's probably a marketing technique between the parents and also the Bop House so that people can go over to her. She's going to get a load of controversy and backlash, but she's also going to get a lot of views from people that she is targeting with these things. She's targeting the people who like age bait because she is literally under the age. Because what people and predators will do on this platform is they will see that she's at the Bop House, they'll want to see who the new member is, they'll go and find this, and then they'll go and buy bikini sets from her. She's attracted the right audience to this sort of page. And also just note from Brand Army, like, really think about it. Brand Army is the website that she's hosting this on, and they seem perfectly fine with letting a 17-year-old sell photos of her in bikinis because it's parent managed, and they like it because they're getting revenue from it. What sort of precedent does that set for your Brand Army? If I were Brand Army, I'd definitely be getting rid of this, and also I'd definitely be getting told about it. I tried to message them, but unfortunately, once I sent the message, it just insta-deleted on Instagram, and that's the only way that you can get to them. But Brand Army, if you're watching this, look at how disgusting this all is. Realise how weird and predator-baity all of this is. Notice it's definitely against your terms of service, and get rid of her from this site because you are literally enticing these predators onto your platform And I don't think this is legal. And obviously at this point, I imagine you're looking at the parents in this situation. You're like, why are the parents just totally okay with this? Why do they let it happen? And well, there's a prime reason for it. They're absolute scumbags themselves.
The mother of YouTube star Piper Rockelle, who has over 10 million subscribers despite being only 15 years old, is facing multiple awful allegations that she physically and emotionally abused children, including touching them and doing all kinds of other nasty things, alleging that Tiffany Smith, who was 41, would do all kinds of awful things, like trying to encourage them to perform sex acts, trying to make them wear revealing clothing, doing all kinds of things that I probably can't say in this video, according to them, subjecting them to, quote, harassment, molestation and abuse.
Yeah, that definitely happened. This was done in 2023 and it only settled at the end of last year, and I'm surprised that no one has seen or heard about it, as it's something which, at least on YouTube's sphere, has really gone under the radar, with it in the end settling for $1.85 million. Not the $20 million that they were looking for, but the idea that this has gone to a multi-million dollar settlement really does state that there was some factual evidence within these claims. These group of creators alleged that Smith, 43, who is the mum of Piper, intentionally inflicted emotional distress while she held a position of care and control over them in the production of content for Rockelle's YouTube channel. They said they endured physical and emotional injuries from harassment, molestation and abuse. Genuinely a terrible, nasty piece of work that really does show that and highlight what lengths the daughter has been put through herself amongst her friends of the actual YouTube channel at the time. And it also explains why she's trying to claw back money in this sort of sense by like literally selling bikini photos of her child, because she is a grim person. She even countersued last year for $30 million, accusing the plaintiff's mother of conspiring to extort money by making false sexual abuse allegations. She voluntarily abandoned the lawsuit before the mothers responded, which once again sounds like you're trying to put things through the court and then realise, oh, I actually got nothing for this, I might be stuffed myself. Genuinely on a level with the Frankie family of how disgusting and low you can go in pursuit of trying to be a child content creator. A spokesperson for the plaintiff's law firm said Smith denied wrongdoing as part of settlement terms. Well, that's great, innit? Oh, I'm just going to give you $1.86 million, but I actually have accepted no wrongdoing, so I didn't actually do anything wrong. Well, if you didn't do it wrong, why have you paid $2 million to someone for nothing? That's literally daylight robbery if you've done nothing wrong. And it's obvious to me that intentionally this was done as some sort of public thing as opposed to actually trying to get for money. With one of the parents of the plaintiffs saying that they didn't pursue this lawsuit to change the industry, but to bring awareness to the predators that can be found in any field. This was never about the money, it was about holding an individual accountable, telling the truth, and taking a step towards healing. And it's obvious that that's the case, but it really does add precedent to what was going on at the time and also what's going on now with this Bop House. It is an intentional attempt to get funds by any means, which comes down to literally being really weird with a child by making them sell photos of themselves in bikinis for money, and then the fallout of that is obviously predators are going to come around. She's a very nasty piece of work who will go to anything in an attempt to gain money. And I mean, when she's earning $300,000 to $500,000 a month after getting demonetized after this situation came out, the mum has said it was due to financial jealousy of a 15-year-old girl that this entire thing came out. Which maybe not, considering you are a group of people that should be together and should be earning quite a decent amount of money. It's just terrible, isn't it? It's disgusting. And there's one big thing in this LA Times article which really does highlight that, well, Piper is being extorted in this sexual fashion. As someone called Fergie in the complaint, who lived at home with Smith and Rockelle, said this: she once saw Smith try to make out Rockelle, and she said Smith insisted on dressing the kids in provocative clothing and told them to push their butts out, suck their stomachs in, and wear something sluttier. To a child. Literally to a child. There obviously should be nothing sexual in nature which is taken to a minor or a child, and the idea that the mum was talking about this to 15, 13, 12-year-olds at the time is quite frankly disgusting, and it is also very bad. And then when you see the certain website very sexual in nature intentionally, it makes a lot of sense as to why the parents are managing it in this way, because the parents want it to be that way. They know they can make a lot of money off of her, so they're gonna do it. And honestly, get in prison. And of course, straight after this, you've got James Charles. Like, the allegations have dropped and gone bad. And then you've got James Charles in the bop house with everyone else. You know, the guy who manages to be around all of these child star problem situations, such as the likes of JoJo Siwa, who has also been in multiple instances caught with 17-year-olds, with minors, saying sexual things to them, sending sexual photos, that sort of thing. And he has even accepted that he's done it. So whether or not you believe that some of the stuff is real, there is definitely some that is real, because he said that he did do it. But then multiple times after, in the years after, he's just got even worse. Which really is the icing on top of the cake for this bop house, because it really does show the kind of things that they're getting up to. Such as this horrible camera angle. Like, obviously, you're intentionally putting your legs like that so you can get OF views. This then also leads me to the drama around it as well, with the fallout, because there was another person called Joyy, who is another OF creator who was in the original bop house, who has come out and said that she has left the bop house because she was around minors. Posted this saying, apparently I'm the odd one for wanting to collab with a minor, which obviously, no, you're not the odd one. You're definitely a good one for understanding the nature and nuance of what you do and why you shouldn't be doing that around children. And she followed up with this as well, because the crash out was very heavy and there was a lot of people that were dogging on her for it.
It is about Piper, because one thing about me is that I'm never gonna do anything associated with a minor. Like, it is ridiculous that the bop house would even do that when there's so many other people you can collab with that is over age, because we all know what you guys do. So I just think it's fucking ridiculous, and I cannot tolerate that.
But as we know now, we know what Piper does, or what Piper's parents make her do, so we can really extrapolate that and see exactly why that's happening. But it's true, there are so many other people you can choose. You can choose so many other people, even James Charles. James Charles is better than that, even though he has literally been done multiple times for it. But anyway, we're not having a mid-off. The bop house here could have done something much better. Well, obviously, what they are intentionally trying to do is play into that child side, and, well, it's worked brilliantly for them, hasn't it? She then also followed up with another video.
I just want to come on here and clear a few things up, because I think some things got lost in translation. So I am not attacking Piper whatsoever. She can do whatever she wants to do. I'm not saying, oh, Piper can't do this or that. No, I'm saying that the bop house knew better and should not have invited her to do TikToks. And the technicality of they were at Sophie's house and not the bop house, which I've seen people call me out for.
The idea that there are actually people saying, well, it was at Sophie's house, I agree with the reply. It does seem like it's worse if that's the case. Obviously, she should have no malice towards Piper for doing it, because she is literally a child stuck in this situation, but she could have maybe said stuff to the child, maybe helped them. But yeah, I was actually at a private residence of an OF girl's house. Oh, that's so much better. That's so much better, innit? You've really answered all our calls.
The bop house is not a location, it's the group of people that are in it, and it is the TikTok page. So, she was posted on the TikTok page, so therefore, bop house. That's what I'm trying to get at, guys. I don't know what got confused, but I just wanted to clear that up for you guys.
Because yeah, it is crazy. Why are people even trying to disseminate it from that, like breaking it down into technicalities? It doesn't matter. It's the entire act of filming with these OF creators for promotion. Like, that is the problem. But now there's even more drama stirring up from all of this, because apparently she's created her own bop house now, this Joyy. And I've also seen other stuff of her contradicting what she's saying, so I feel like this is somewhat another marketing technique, which I really don't get. Again, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? It's really confusing. All I know is that this is all wrong. And, well, when Joyy came out, she did talk about the situation, but she also went on a podcast and talked about how she thinks that people are baiting into this stuff, this childish stuff, in an attempt to attract kids as well as also predators. And yeah, it's as simple as that, innit, really. We all see it, but she's made it obvious here because she was part of it.
Do you believe that the bop house girls are trying to look younger to target older men?
I'm so glad you brought this up. Yes, I do. Some of the girls be making little voices, little faces.
Like baby talk?
Yes, and I think it's weird. And don't want to name names, but I get you need braces sometimes, but 3 years?
Girl, you're talking about Aisha.
Going to the depths of faking braces, like, that is insane to me. Like, I get it if you need them, and also a lot of these creators are around 20 years old, so they are at the age where they can have braces and it just be normally acceptable, like it does happen. But faking braces to get into it so then you can seem younger, that is mental. And it's all accepted and it's all fine, apparently. I find this stuff so weird, and it also is just so in the open, but nobody seems to be talking about it. Because this bait into children stuff is not only there in the open, it's there in the open for almost all of the Bop House members. For example, another one with Camilla Araujo. There's another TikToker who was in the Bop House and still is in the Bop House, and one of the things that she does is she likes to do TikToks and promotions with her 16-year-old brother talking about OF.
Why haven't you leaked how much you make?
Because that's my business.
But like every time a girl comes in here on the podcast, you always leak it. So
Yeah, but like,
why not leak yours?
I don't know, because I don't want to.
Okay, show me.
But don't go and do what I do and say it to the camera.
Okay, I won't. I promise. I promise.
It's just weird to me having an OF and promoting your brother on your podcast for literal people. Like, the same audience that you're going for is not what the brother will ever want or get into. Also notice like the Jack Doherty editing style and that sort of thing, like it's intentionally trying to get to the younger audience, which then explains why she's got a 16-year-old on there.
This is just this week.
Oh my, 250,000.
Bro, a week. That doesn't matter. Like that Lil Baby song. Miley scamming that make $250,000 in a week.
No, she doesn't.
You saw it.
Okay, whatever.
Because this is another thing that they always do in a lot of these videos and these TikTok clips, because they do go viral. It talks about how much money these lot make, and obviously with the Bop House, everyone's got multi-million followings when they actually join it. So they're all at the top of OF. So then when you see this, you see the brother asking, oh, well, how much money have you made? Oh, I've made this much in a week. And everyone's like, wow, it is intentionally trying to promote how good of an option it is. Whether they say it or not, which they never do say, don't do it, it is intentionally trying to do that. So then you're going to get a lot of people like the likes of Piper who are going to go on and they're going to do it the second they turn 18. And it is something that people really need to think about, because it can be damaging to people's lives. And also a large majority of the people that are on these platforms do not make that money at all. And as I said, they love to play into the, wow, you look so young for your age. I can't believe you're making that much money on such an X-rated platform. Like, it's all intentional.
How much have you made since starting in OF? $54,000? Y'all are sick, because she looks 12.
Like, yeah, it is sick. It is sick because she's jailbaited, but you're all jailbaiting in the Bop House because you're all aiming for this same goal. And having Piper in there is only going to benefit you. As well as we've seen with the disgusting stuff, with Piper being benefited as well for it. This whole situation's a mess. I think Bop House are disgusting for letting this happen. And I also think that Piper's parents are disgusting as well. And as you can see from all of the stuff that the Piper's mum has done, she is a terrible person. And she's going to bring this literal like OF light, this fansly version, this passes version of like an underage girl. It's insane. I just can't. All I can hope from this is that the Band Army site that she is promoting this on gets banned, because that is so disgusting. It's a terrible platform to be showing as like, this is what you want as one of your largest creators as well. And I hope people see what this is. It's literally jailbait, and they're intentionally jailbaiting it as well as making it look childish for the older audience as well as the much younger audience. The younger audience pushes the videos up and the likes go up from that, and then the predators come in and steal all of the disgusting stuff that's going on there. And yeah, the Bop House may be all legal, but it's not morally right at all, and all of the little dirty tactics they're doing only exemplifies that. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the vid, please do hit the like button and subscribe. I would love to see you back. I've been Jake Baz, and I'll see you later. Take care.